Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to send all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. Today I want to do a lesson on, who the real Israelites are, and also one of the battles, the main battles that's going to take place during World War III. Okay. And Salak, some of this stuff I'm kind of winging it right now. So Salak, if I say anything wrong, and I stand to be corrected to any of you brothers who see my video, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. All right. This is the book of Joel, 3rd chapter, and starting at the first verse. For behold, in those days, in that time, I shall bring again to the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay, I want to talk about this right here. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All right. It tells you right here, man, that the Israelites were scattered among the many nations. Okay, so every Israelite is not going to be so-called black. I know you have a lot of camps and a lot of YouTube videos out there saying that black people, so-called black people, are the only people of that are the only Israelites. Now, I will say this: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi are the top 3 tribes, but the top tribe is Judah, which is the so-called black man. Okay, that is the main. That is the head of the line of Israel, but you also have your Hispanics and also Native Americans who are Israelites also. Okay, and it says it right here: whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. We were scattered among many nations. Okay, we were scattered among many nations, different countries, Europe, the Middle East, and especially in America. You have a lot of Afro-Latinos, a lot of Afro-Cubans. You have some descendants that live in Thailand, China. Our people are scattered all over. So the only thing I could tell you, the only thing that could really, how you can really know a person is Israelite is by their faith, and if they're acceptable of this truth. Now, sometimes they might not be accepted, they might not perceive this truth or accept this truth, but if their heritage goes back to an Israelite, then they're Israelite. They're going to be part of the 2/3 that die anyway, but they're going to be brought back into righteousness. You know what? I think I'm just going to talk about this right here. I'm not going to really go into the battle of Jehoshaphat because I think I need to do more research about that and explain it more, before I go into it, But yeah, man, I just want to talk about that, man. It says it right here: for my people, for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Yeah. When I was on my way to camp yesterday, I had to stop and get some gas, and I was trying to hurry up, get gas or whatever, and the devil kept messing with me, man. I kept forgetting stuff at my apartment, had to come back and get it, and then I had forgot something else. I realized when I was pumping gas, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna pump my gas and go to camp. But as I was pumping gas, I saw a friend of mine slash coworker whom I hadn't seen in like years, man. I mean, um, him and I used to work at Publix together, and he was Italian, and he had so-called white skin, but you know, he had the soul of an Israelite. Like back then, I wasn't in the truth. This was like in 2010, I think. I used to work at Publix, but you know, he had a certain swagger about him, man. That he was cool, man. Like you know, he wasn't. He was cool, man. I mean, this man can pull chicks like crazy, man. He could pull women like crazy, man. I mean, but he had a certain swagger about him, and I saw him yesterday, man. And he saw me pumping gas at the gas station. He just pulled up. He had a truck or whatever, and I saw this dude with a beard just walk up to me or whatever. I didn't know who he was because back then he didn't have a beard. You know, he was clean shaven. You know, but he had a fro back in the day. But now, you know, he's older now. But he came up to me yesterday, man, and asked me. He said, "Is your name Theo?" I said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna put his name out there or whatever." But he said I was so and so, and I was like, "Oh, for real? Oh, man, homeboy looked like homeboy turned into a man for real." Cause back then he was like kind of skinny or whatever, and but he really did blossom, man. Like he grew his beard out. He got fuller. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, he still had that swagger spirit about him, man. Like when I saw him, man, I just like, you know, my soul was like, yeah, this is the same dude. I know him. You know what I mean? He hadn't changed a bit. And I said that to say this, man. My soul was telling me that he was an Israelite, man, because even though he had so-called white skin, you know, and he had some kind of, how can I say it, instinct to grow his beard out, you know, and it was a full beard, you know, it wasn't like no edged up, shaved up beard. I mean, he had it like, he probably shaved the lower neck part, but like right up under the chin or whatever, it was all hair, full beard, man, full beard. And you know what I mean? And I wanted to talk to him more, but I was on my way to camp and I just gave my Facebook information and everything. But yeah, man, that just come to show you, since our people were, you know, scattered among the nations, you know, we're going to look like different people. You know, we're not all going to have brown skin. You know, you got some Israelites out there who look like so-called Japanese, who look like a so-called Arab, who look like a so-called European, you know, and you know, it's that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? So I want to tell y'all this right here. If you're getting into this truth, or if you're curious about the truth, or you hear that black people are the only Israelites, well, if you hear that black people are the only Israelites, that's just ignorance right there. Okay? If you're trying to get into this truth, do your research. And the best source to go to for this truth is GMS. You have GMS Miami, GMS Chicago, GMS Main Camp, which is in New York. Best thing for you to do, I suggest, is whatever state you live in. Like for example, the major city I live in, or live near, is Miami. I live in Fort Lauderdale, which is a major city, but Miami is like the bigger city, you know. The biggest city that you live near, or the biggest city that's in your state, or slash country, or Providence, or wherever you at in the world. Say for example, you live in England. Well, I think the biggest, and Salak, if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. If the biggest city in England is London, look up GMS London. I live in Florida, you know, so I'll look up GMS Miami. If you live in Texas, you know, you got Houston, you have Dallas. I think they have a camp in Dallas too. If you live in California, look up GMS California. I mean, GMS is the best source. Don't just look up Israelite, because you're going to get all kinds of camps thrown at you that that their doctrine is off, you know. So, you know, just be sure you look up GMS. That's the best source and the main source. Now, if you want to get like the in-depth truth, like the actual heart of the truth, because all the other camps, you know, we get our information from GMS New York, and you know, sometimes the spirit works on us too. You know, I know me personally, I get my information from the main camp in New York, and also the camp that I attend in Miami, the Miami camp. So look up GMS. GMS is the best source of information to get the breakdown of the scriptures. This is, you know, 'cause this is where I get my information from. You know, me, I have a learning and processing disability, and you know that's why when I go to camp, I write these scriptures down right here, because, you know, I'm not gonna remember all these scriptures. You know, I'm not, and I'll probably forget this, you know, during the day or whatever, but at least I have my sources written down where I can go back and check it out, okay? But my thing is, I'm really not a big debater because I can't really retain all this information, you know? But I do have brothers, you know, the brothers that allow me to listen to them in Miami. You know, they allow me to come, and, you know, all praises to the Most High for allowing them to let me hear the word and receive this truth. But yeah, hey, do that, y'all. I mean, times are coming, man. The end times are here. You need to know what's going on. Prosperity preaching is you know, it's some bullshit, man, for real. No, it's bullshit. Prosperity preaching is bullshit. All that hallelujah and all that bullshit, man. You know, it's not the time for that, man. It's not the time for that. These ministers don't teach you this stuff right here. You know, I've learned more by being in this truth than I probably learned more in one day going to camp. My first day going to camp, I learned more one day than I have ever learned in my 20, 30 some years of, well, I wouldn't say 30, I'll probably say like 20 some years of going to church. I haven't remembered one sermon the preacher taught. Probably one. You know, it was one about the pastor said when you real with God, you know, he listens to you. You know, that kind of stood out. But other than that, no, man. You know. But anyway, I just wanted to go over that. And till next time, Shalom.